My husband, 42M, and I, 35F, struggled for years to have children, but now that our twin boys and baby girl are here, he's become distant and jealous. His behavior has shifted from frustration to anger, and I fear for our children's safety. Am I overreacting, or is something wrong? My husband, 42M, and I, 35F, went through a long and difficult journey to have our children. Due to a health issue, he developed fertility problems, and we needed medical intervention to conceive. He was adamant about having biological children, and we spent a small fortune on fertility treatments. Now that our kids are here, our twin boys and baby girl, he's become distant and jealous of them. He acts like he's in competition with his own babies. If I'm holding or comforting them, he becomes visibly frustrated. Anytime they require my attention, he gets moody and upset. His temperament has shifted entirely. He's constantly irritable, unpleasant, and frankly, mean. I don't understand what changed. Our babies are barely 6 months old, but they cry whenever he's around. I honestly believe they can feel the negativity he's putting out. I've tried to talk to him about it and encouraged him to engage more with the kids, hoping he'd start bonding with them. I know that for some parents, that connection takes time, but this behavior is beyond that. It feels angry, jealous, even resentful. He's even made snide remarks about me still breastfeeding, though we use mixed feeding, so he's had plenty of chances to feed and bond with them too, he just doesn't take them. He's also said that this life, our marriage and parenting 3 children, isn't what he thought it would be. But what did he expect? Raising 3 infants is loud, messy, and overwhelming. It's not easy, but it's real. We've been together for 8 years, married for 7. These children were his dream too. He wanted them just as much as I did, if not more. And now, he acts like we're a burden. It's heartbreaking and scary. I never imagined I'd be here, in this situation. I've tried having serious conversations with him, even suggesting therapy, but he shuts it all down. He tells me it's in my head. The truth is, I'm scared. For me. For my babies. He's coming home later and later, avoids us on weekends and during time off. I'll admit it, I checked his phone. What I found were flirty texts with someone named Jessica. I don't think anything physical has happened between them yet, but there's definitely something building. I haven't brought it up. I'm scared of what comes next. I don't have anywhere to go. I've been out of work for 2 years and used every last bit of my savings on getting pregnant and carrying these children. I have no family to lean on and no financial safety net. I'm exhausted. I can't sleep, I can't think straight. My mind is in complete meltdown. What happened to the man I married? Is this who he's going to be now? Permanently? Edit, to the people sending cruel messages, stop blaming me for his behavior. I don't deserve to be mistreated, and neither do my kids. Your hate is unwelcome. Please stop. Update. Thank you to the person who suggested I pay closer attention to how my husband interacts with our children. Just hours after posting here for advice, I caught him pinching our son. While I was scrolling through responses and replying, I happened to check the baby monitor. I watched my husband walk into the nursery and begin whispering harsh, hateful things to our babies. I couldn't make out every word, but it was clear he was saying things like he hated them and wished they were dead. Then, I saw him pinch our son. What terrified me even more was that my baby didn't even react, no cry, no flinch, which makes me wonder how many times he's done it before. It all happened so fast. By the time I processed what I was seeing, he was already leaving the room and heading down the stairs. I jumped off the couch and confronted him immediately. It turned into a loud, intense fight, screaming, shoving, accusations. We argued for hours. At some point, the neighbors must have called the police, because officers showed up at our door. I told them everything. Unfortunately, they said they couldn't take further action because my son didn't have any visible bruises, and the baby monitor only streams live, it doesn't record. In the end, they convinced my husband to pack a bag and leave. He left, but not without resistance. Since then, he's been constantly messaging me begging for forgiveness, claiming depression, saying the babies overwhelmed him, blaming anxiety and jealousy. I only responded once, to tell him to go fuck himself. My lawyer advised me to keep him unblocked, in case he says anything incriminating. I honestly don't even recognize this man anymore. Where did this come from? How did we get here? Has anyone else ever experienced something like this? How did you deal with it? And before anyone comes for me, yes, I am getting a divorce. I will fight for full custody. I've already taken my kids to the doctor and thankfully they're healthy with no other signs of harm. A police report has been filed, and my lawyer is handling everything else. Divorce proceedings are about to begin. Relevant comments. Commenter. He's not depressed, he's a predator who wants easier access to his victims. People who are truly struggling with stress or depression don't sneak around and harm babies just to get a rush from it. This is calculated abuse. Oop. Exactly. I'm exhausted, overwhelmed, and still physically recovering from both pregnancy and a C-section, but not once have I ever felt the urge to hurt anyone, let alone an innocent baby. His excuses are complete garbage. He knew exactly what he was doing, or he wouldn't have done it so quietly, hiding it from me. I don't believe him for a second. He's a monster. Regarding the baby monitor. I've now updated the monitor so it records everything. I've also ordered a full home security system that I'll be installing very soon. What I'm doing to protect my kids. I'm taking every possible step to keep them safe. This incident happened just a few days ago, and I've already started the process of getting a temporary restraining order. My lawyer is managing it, and although it can take time, I've been advised that until a judge says otherwise, I am not obligated to let him visit or see the kids. He currently has no legal grounds to force access. I've been documenting everything. I've saved every text and recorded every phone call. Thankfully, he's been sending and saying incredibly incriminating things. I'm hoping this will be enough to secure both a protective order and full custody through the family court system. When asked if I told him I saw the pinch. Yes, I confronted him. First, he gaslit me by saying I imagined it. Then he changed his story, claiming he was just frustrated because our son wouldn't fall asleep. After that, he said our son was doing it on purpose and disrupting our alone time while the other babies were sleeping. Like that even makes sense? It's all ridiculous. My son was nearly asleep on his own. He was calm and quiet, and then that man walked in and deliberately disturbed him with whispers and pinches. That wasn't a check-in. That was torment. When asked how he said that. It was over a phone call, and yes, I recorded the whole thing. Update. Every conversation I have with him, 42M, makes me feel like I'm losing my grip on reality. The only things keeping me somewhat grounded are my audio journal and the posts I've been sharing here. Last week was my 36th birthday, not that I remembered. My sister had to remind me. I didn't want to spend the day wallowing, so I got the kids ready and took them out to shop and pick up groceries. When we got home, I started putting the groceries away, but the babies were fussy, so I decided to take them out for a walk to calm them down and get them ready for bed. When we returned, he was in the kitchen cooking and finishing putting away the groceries I'd left out. He greeted me like everything was perfectly normal. His strange calmness unsettled me, so I just played along. I brought the kids upstairs and got them to sleep. I briefly considered walking out the front door, but he seemed to be expecting it. He followed me around, and I decided it was safer to just focus on getting the children out of his reach. He said he wanted to talk, to clear the air, saying things had gone on too long. What started as a calm conversation quickly spiraled. When I refused to let him stay, things escalated into a physical altercation. He tried to use intimidation and ended up physically assaulting me. Even through the pain, I managed to call the police, but it took them a gut-wrenching 20 to 25 minutes to arrive. Now, I'm left with 2 black eyes, a busted lip, a swollen face, lumps on my head, and bruises covering my body. I don't recognize the life I'm living anymore. I feel like I can't even face my neighbors without seeing the shock and pity in their eyes. I've never felt this ashamed, humiliated, hurt, or foolish. I honestly believed I made the right choices. I built a stable life, chose a partner who seemed loving, waited 5 years into our marriage before trying for children, and now here I am, the mother of his children, and he's abusing not only me, but our babies too? Edit. My sister now knows everything and is doing what she can to support me. I'm making plans to move out, but since I'm currently unemployed, I need some time to save money first. His family is also aware. They refused to believe me when I told them I witnessed him hurting one of our children, but now, after seeing what he did to me, they can't deny the truth. He was arrested, but his brother bailed him out. He's currently staying at his brother's place. Update. I say this with no exaggeration. I truly believe he was preparing to kill us. After nearly 8 months of emotional and psychological chaos, I'm finally beginning to fully understand the terrifying reality. My soon-to-be ex-husband has been obsessively infatuated with a woman he discovered on social media. This obsession has been going on for at least a year. The woman who, for privacy, I'll refer to as Jessica, is a sex worker, and he had been paying for her time and attention. In his twisted mind, he convinced himself that they had a future together, but only if he could get rid of me and our children. Jessica never gave him any sign that she wanted a relationship, yet he poured an alarming amount of our money into her. Words can't even begin to describe how insane and heartbreaking all of this is. I still can't wrap my head around half of what I've uncovered. Over the past few weeks, I've taken it upon myself to investigate, and eventually, I reached out to Jessica. She was hesitant at first, understandably, but I pleaded with her to talk and she graciously agreed to get on the phone. She told me they had been seeing each other for some time, but she ultimately cut off contact because his behavior became alarming. He had started sending her disturbing messages and voicemails, crossing all boundaries. He was stalking her and desperately trying to manipulate her into being with him. When she blocked him and ended things for good, I believe that's when he began to escalate from emotional abuse toward me, to physically abusing me and our children. In his delusional thinking, killing us would free him from the obstacle he believed was keeping him from being with Jessica. During our long conversation, I shared my side of the story with her. She was genuinely kind, empathetic, and even offered to help. She agreed to speak with my lawyer and provide all the evidence. She has thousands of unhinged texts, voicemails, and audio messages he had sent her. For a moment after we spoke, I felt anger toward Jessica, even hate, but I quickly pushed those irrational thoughts away. After hearing and reading what he had sent her, it became painfully clear, she, too, is one of his victims. There's no pain like hearing the father of your children speak so coldly about how none of you matter to him, how he wishes you were dead. He could have just walked away, asked for a divorce, left. But instead, he chose to torment us. I did send him a few messages after everything asking, why? Why do this? Why not just leave us alone? That was a one-time attempt at closure, and I haven't contacted him since. His only reply was to say that any further communication should go through our lawyers. His parents are fully aware of what he's done and they've chosen to protect him. His father even came to see me and, in a roundabout way, suggested he could pay me off to keep quiet about everything. Ever since he broke into our home and nearly killed me, I've told anyone who would listen about what happened. Now, even people at his workplace know the truth. Update. Last Thursday around 2 a.m., my husband of nearly 8 years, I'm 36F, he's 42M, was arrested outside of Jessica's house. The sex worker he met online and had been paying until his obsessive stalking pushed her to cut contact. When he was taken into custody, police found small baggies with drug residue in his truck, along with what they referred to as tools of abduction. I don't even know what that means exactly, but the phrase alone terrifies me. At about 4:45 or 4:50 a.m., my soon-to-be ex-father-in-law called me to tell me about the arrest. He's the one who used the term tools of abduction. When I asked him what that meant, he got defensive and accused me of using interrogation tactics. Then he had the audacity to ask me to help them find a lawyer for his son and to stand by him through all of this. I told him, how the hell am I supposed to find a lawyer at this hour, and he completely lost it, just started screaming at me. Then my mother-in-law got on the phone, called me a goddamn bitch, and blamed me for all of this. I hung up before she could say anything more. I never suspected my husband was using drugs. Sure, he drank now and then, but hard drugs? I didn't see it. Looking back though, it makes so much sense. The erratic moods, sudden disappearances, constant lying, the outbursts, the violence, it all lines up with what I've now learned about cocaine use. I just didn't recognize the signs at the time. Since his arrest, his family has bombarded me with abusive texts and calls. Sometimes they're attacking me, sometimes they're begging me to go visit him or take his calls. I've ignored most of it. I don't have the time, energy, or love left to give to this man or to any of them. I gave him 8 years of my life. I stood by him. I loved him. And he repaid me by hurting me and our children during the most vulnerable period of our lives. Why would they ever expect me to help him now? After all he's done to me, to our kids, even to Jessica, I genuinely hope he stays in prison for the rest of his life. I've done everything I could to be a good wife, to hold our family together, but I won't sacrifice my children's safety or my own sanity anymore. I've packed everything. I'm leaving. Disappearing with my kids. From now on, anything that needs to be handled will go through my lawyer. Only 2 people know where we're moving, my lawyer and my sister. That's how serious this is. I'm doing what I have to do to protect my children. And yet, somehow, I'm the villain to his family. They treat me like I'm the problem, as if I'm disgusting and evil for choosing to protect myself and my kids. They're trying to break me emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and I honestly don't know how to survive this. How do I rebuild my life when they won't stop tormenting me? How did it all get this bad? How did I fail my children so deeply in less than a year of their lives?